Not the starts we're looking for, man. Haven't got much time left. I mean, I can restart the map, but I like seeing the red numbers sometimes. Get the pressure going. Not those red numbers. The red numbers when the time is running out. I hate these red numbers. What the fuck was that, man? Why didn't I grip? Why didn't I grip then? That was weird. Yeah, some people have done a lot, man. It's funny, the other day I saw Kriparian, I saw a Rise of Kingdoms ad.
I'm permanently earshot.
Permanently earshot. Yeah, Kriparian doing a Rise of Kingdoms ad. Man's fell off. Almost good. Not a great ending, bro. Shit. Same shit, different day, hey? You're melting. The left side of your brain facing the window is just fucking gone.
This is the double Big Mac with double the 100% Aussie beef, melty cheese, tangy pickles, all smothered in special sauce. It's the bigger Big Mac.
G'day guys and gal. In Warhammer 40k, it's generally pretty easy to see who are the good guys.
Calm
and who are
down, the
the bad
Shiki.
guys.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Spikes, horns, poor dental hygiene indicate bad.
What's up,
Gold,
bagels?
Blue or clean
chopping up.
indicates good,
So I'm
just as a
watching
general
Warhammer.
rule of thumb. However, this line between identifying good and bad becomes blurry when we compare the good Mechanicus with the bad Dark Mechanicum. To help distinguish between the two, just remember that the faction that lobotomizes innocent people to turn them into cyborg slaves while working their lower class to death in appalling conditions are the good Mechanicus, whilst the faction that wanted freedom from a tyrannical overlord who took away their sovereignty by lying are the evil Dark Mechanicum. Puh. See, really easy. Those Dark Mechanicum folks are a disgrace. You ever wonder how the Traitor Legions still have knights, titans, and armor despite how disorganized they always are? The Dark Mechanicum is the answer. Before we get started, the latest and greatest major mini I released last week, the King Orc, sold like a hooker at a Viagra testing clinic. We sold out within a few hours, and a lot of you guys and gal have asked if they'll come back because you missed out. But as I said, there was and only ever will be 100 of the true scale King Orcs. However, as of today, you can now pick up the significantly smaller King Orc at a fraction of the cost. The new King Orc is about the size of a Primarch, so it would be a great proxy for an especially large war boss. Available from the store now. It's been great to see people get their major minis painted and sent to me for the $10,000 painting competition. Max, with his awesome take on the Shark Daddy, giving him a new bony tribal appearance. Sio, who converted his Terminator Lord into a corny boy, even giving him his own warband. Brad, with his simple yet clean Nightlord scheme. Aaron, with his Lord of the Night Nightlord scheme. Remember guys, finishing the bases and taking a good photo is just as important as a good paint job. Today we'll go over the lore of the Dark Mechanicum and the Schism of Mars, detailing why about half of the Mechanicum broke away from the Emperor's realm, what happened when they did, and what they're currently up to. Let's get into it. The cutesy zero ethics toaster fucker Mechanicus that we all know and love today is quite different from the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy era Mechanicum. It's now considered a subfaction of the Imperium rather than an ally and vassal that it used to be. The Mechanicum of Mars had existed for thousands of years before the Emperor swooped in and yoinked their sovereignty using a magic trick. They were a proud people, technologically advanced, and one of the few pockets of humanity that were able to overcome and triumph over the Age of Strife. They had their titans, knights, Skitarii, and battle robots for centuries before the Emperor came. The point I'm trying to make is that they stood on their own 2 feet, or 8 feet, depending on how hard they were cosplaying as their favorite Bionicle. When the Emperor came to them, he needed their forges to build his weapons, vehicles, ships, and literally everything else. However, Mars isn't just going to give some random dude all their shit, no matter how beautiful they may be. Hence, when the Emperor came, he fixed the machine Jesus style, and more or less convinced most of Mars that he was the Omnissiah, a mythical avatar of their machine god who was promised to one day come and lead Mars into a new golden age. With him now appearing as their Jesus, they bowed to his will and created the tools of his conquest. However, there were some that believed him to be a liar, a powerful psycho who had tricked Mars into thinking he was their chosen one. They didn't speak of this out loud, as the other Martians would have destroyed them as a heretic, or the Emperor would have crushed them with his armies, but that resentment was still there. A good question.
You just had a
people
brain
ask,
blast?
was the Emperor actually the Omnissiah, or did he just lie out of his ass? Well, you could say both. Mars gained its technological supremacy due to the fact that the Emperor knocked out and buried a fuck-off massive shard of the Void Dragon, the Catan god of technology, under Mars. Then the Void Dragon's dreams saturated the planet and made the people more intelligent. So technically, the Void Dragon is the Omnissiah, with the Emperor just knowing how to take credit because he set the whole thing up. However, if you are the one that used the Void Dragon as a tool, you have created the Cult Mechanicum. So would you not be the Omnissiah? It's an interesting debate. However, regardless of the technicalities, the unfaithful Martians had a point. The Emperor was lying in some capacity in order to use the Martian forges. These resentful Martians, which included the leader of Mars, the fabricated General Kelborg Hall, bided their time. They couldn't risk open rebellion. However, when Horus Lupercal, the War Master, drank the Chaos Kool-Aid and declared jihad on the Emperor, Mars officially declared for Horus. Yes, that's right. The Mechanicum joined the traitors' side, making it once again a bit of a head-scratcher how the traitors lost. The Mechanicus didn't turn away from the Emperor just because of the Great Lie of Mars, as it's called. Horus offered the fabricated general a number of things. Firstly, Mars would truly regain its sovereignty. All Imperial forces would leave Forge Worlds alone to their own devices. Secondly, Horus gave the fabricated general 2 extremely valuable STC shards. For context, the Mechanicum would and has blown up Imperial worlds if it meant getting one of these, and even once gave 2 guardsmen an entire world to say thank you for finding them a low-level STC shard that taught them how to make sharper knives. Thirdly, Horus would remove all restrictions on experiments and technology, meaning they could fuck around with the stuff that the Emperor had explicitly banned, like AI. This part is important as it is one of the defining features of the Dark Mechanicum. And finally, he would give them the access code to a secret vault that was full of extremely no-no banned technology that the Emperor had sealed forever. You know shit is evil and powerful when it gets sealed away instead of destroyed. With this generous offer combined with the fabricated general's own resentment towards the Emperor, the Mechanicum joined Horus's cause. This
Then you
obviously
haven't
didn't
lived
go over
bagels.
super well with many of the Martians who
Good old
believed the
black
Emperor
bean
as
and
the
rice
Omnissiah.
burrito, man.
Although
Some
Mars
fucking
officially
pulled
declared
pork
for
in there.
Horus, about half of the Martians rebelled, aiding the Imperium and waging vicious wars on the surface of Mars. Enough Martians were able to get to Terra that they were able to create an entirely new and advanced Astartes battle plate in time for the Siege of Terra. The Mechanicum were a massive asset to the traders, directing supplies away from the Loyalists, bolstering traders, and causing an all-round ruckus. One of the main reasons why the Istvan Dropsite Massacre was such an overwhelming victory for the trader legions is because the Mechanicum had recently created armor-piercing bolter rounds that were designed to kill a star.